beautiful evening on the gorgeous Lyme Bay. Those of you who are more observant will note that this is not either a Supernova or an RS400, which are my sort of more regular classes, but I've gone out and got myself an RS600, something a little trickier to sail and to try and keep my sort of boat handling skills a bit sharper, especially in somewhere like Lyme Bay with a fair bit of wave action and pretty big breezes. You'll note that this evening, blowing pretty much due southwest, which means there's kicking up a fair bit of swell. The breeze, it dies off throughout this race, so it starts off somewhere sort of around 15, maybe getting up to 18 knots and dropping off towards 12 at the end. So that was the start, but it's all going well until, not great. So what happened there, I was just reaching for my trapeze line to drop myself a little lower off the start, and just managed to let go of the main sheet as well, which is a bit of a shame. So while I'm just recovering, I brought the RS600, a few months ago. Just fancied something a little bit different. I've been watching some videos of the excellent Will Russell. If you check out his channel, he's got some really good stuff going on. I just fancied getting back into them. I had an RS600 a good few years ago, but that was sort of what we'd call puddle sailing, I guess. So not a. Previously, I wasn't on a big piece of water, so it was a bit tight for a boat like this, whereas now I'm moved down to the south coast. We've got a beautiful big bit of water, lovely bay to sail around on, although, as you've just seen, it does come with its own set of challenges, and these boats aren't necessarily the best setup for big waves, so that's all part of the challenge and part of the attraction of getting a boat like this. Finally managed to get it up, and conveniently that saved me a tack because the boat swung round as I was pulling it up, so that at least helped me out in one respect, although obviously now I'm a good way off the back of the fleet. So just getting myself up and going again, back on the wire, check everything's in place, bit of shake of the head. That wasn't going to plan. I'd had a really good start as well, nicely on the wire and with good speed, but there you go. This is why I sail on Wednesday evenings to learnings. I'll know that I've got to get it more securely in the cleat next time, the main. So lesson learned. As you can see here, there's a fair bit of chop actually, quite some fairly big waves. Although the camera sort of flattens them out, they're probably looking topping out about 6 feet or so, and when you're at the bottom, some of these can look pretty big. There's some waves here where I get the boat's coming back out the water, almost back to the centreboard as I charge up wind, but generally going along quite nicely. You'll see, especially if you've seen other people saying RS600s, I've had to sort of adopt this style of trapezing with my legs a little wider than you normally would. That's just to help me with the sort of, as I hit a wave, to prevent myself being thrown forward, and as we accelerate off the back of them again, being swung backwards, so it just gives me a bit of a wider base to keep some stability. This is only my third time now in the boat, so just getting used to some of the nuances, and trying to sort of remind myself about how to handle helming from the wire. This is going well. A big breaker here. Plenty of waves and a lot of splashdowns on the other side. It seems to me in a straight line, don't seem to have too much trouble at the moment. You can see I'm constantly shaking my main sheet because I've got some sort of main sheet take-up system that I haven't really sorted out yet, so it's constantly getting itself in a big tangle. That's definitely something we'd have to be sorting out. Not too much of a problem on Lyme Bay really, because the amount of main sheet adjustment is, I'd say, fairly minimal compared to what you'd be doing inland, but you still need to be doing a little bit as you go over each of these waves and trying to steer around the worst of it. See, I'm now looking over my shoulder, trying to spot that top mark in amongst all this chop. For club racing, we don't use huge buoys, so they can be a little tricky to spot, especially when I'm trying to concentrate on keeping the boat flat and keep it driving. I'm not yet practiced enough to sort of be able to look over my shoulder and keep the boat driving at the same time. But there you go, having a good extended look over my shoulder there. Not at the corner yet. Whoa. Yeah, some big waves and real bear away on some of these to get the speed back up. You can see now I'm starting to think of the tack, so I'm leaning in, starting to think about dropping some kicker. This is the real problem I've had since getting this boat, is tacking in any sort of breeze and any sort of waves. Yeah, I found it really difficult. Those of you in the RS600 who are planning to go to Lyme Bay, it's going to be one of the real issues you'll find is that, on flat water in this breeze, I tend to have no issue at all getting through. But here you can see every time halfway through the tack I hit a wave and the boat stalls, a bit of a pump on the tiller to get the bow down. I haven't kept it in this video because this video is only going to show one lap. But on, I think, the third or fourth lap of this race, I get really stuck in irons and that probably wastes at least sort of a minute and a half trying to get the tack done. So yeah, it's a real problem. So yeah, if anyone does have any tips on how to get it tacking through the waves, that'd be really useful. But it's probably just going to be a matter of learning. You can see most of the fleet there down to windward, so I've sort of caught up with the front bunch just by driving off by myself and not worrying too much about tacking with any shifts or anything. Just not that there were any in particular, but I've just sort of got out to the right hand side, tacked, and now I'm driving in slightly overlaid, but that was sort of deliberately so. I don't want to have to do another tack later on if I can avoid it, and risk getting stuck head to wind again. So yeah, I'm sort of reaching in, probably gone about maybe 5-10 boat lengths past where ideally I would have tacked. But like I said, there was good reasons for that. So you can see I'm dropping my kicker there just to get a little bit more power in the main, because I can bear away a little bit now and really let the boat rip. You can see it's a little easier now because I'm not going straight into the chop. So I'm sort of floating above the waves there on the wire, whereas a few times on the other tack you saw me getting clobbered as I reached the crest, and if the boat was leaning over to windward at all, I'd just get smacked straight in the face with a wave. The sea's still pretty cold at this time of year, so not the most pleasant of experiences. Probably, yeah. Hopefully, we've had a good warm few weeks here in the UK. So yeah, later, not going to be too long before that sea's warmed up and it's not so bad. And yeah, hopefully that'll help, because I expect to do a fair amount of swimming and whatnot as I get to grips with this boat. So yeah, you can see I've really overlaid. It's starting to bear away quite a lot and pick up a lot of speed. Getting quite close to that top buoy. I think there's a couple of phantoms gone on first, just ahead of the lead laser, or just with the lead laser here, and there's one phantom just ahead of me as well. So we're going to bear away and get ripping downwind. So this was a triangle course that we were doing here. So one beat and then two very broad reaches. This reach here was the slightly tighter of the two. I was just able to get sitting on the wing, which helped because I was able to really let rip down the waves. So every time there's a decent bit of a decent downhill, I was able to bear away and let rip. But then also I had scope to come back up a little bit if I needed to, and keep the speed on. In sort of subsequent laps, I did actually stay hooked on and actually generated a bit more apparent, and that I felt that was a bit quicker. But at this point, I hadn't even managed to sort of contemplate doing a jibe or anything when I was practicing just before the race, just because the breeze was up. So yeah, at this point I'm sort of concentrating, thinking about that first jibe and how I'm going to do it. Just coming up to the wing mark, you can see I've flown past that phantom there, coming up on the next boat. Actually, I think this might be the lead laser I'm just coming up on. You can see how much time I've managed to lose there with that capsize at the bottom buoy. I've gone really wide of the mark, so I'm nowhere near the buoy. You can actually just see it there. You can just see it under my boom there, and the laser's just jibed. But I wasn't really aiming for it. I'm just giving myself plenty of space. trying to time the jibe on the top of a wave, so I'm going at maximum speed at the bottom of the wave, so I'm going at max speed. Yep, managed to get it safely done. In fact, I was pretty chuffed that I didn't capsize all evening, which was fairly unexpected because I think a few weeks ago, or a few months ago, I went out in similar breeze but coming from the opposite direction, which meant more sort of chop than swell. And had a really pretty terrible time, capsized on practically every jibe. Just couldn't manage to get through without the nose digging into the wave ahead. So I was actually pretty happy that I managed to get away with that one. And as the breeze died, it did actually make it an awful lot easier because I was able to use the waves to sort of maximum effect, so really generating apparent wind before pushing into the jibes. But the advantage of that late jibe has meant a bit of a better angle into the next buoy. So you can see there's a couple of boats really quite high of me here, up to that left-hand side, and they're really high and struggling to get down to the mark, whereas where I am, I've got a fair bit of speed on. I'm even able to sort of occasionally just reach out and touch the racks, and that just helping me go really, really quick. I guess the only disadvantage is that I'm not able to make use of any of these waves because they're sort of coming across my bow, so I'm not able to really do anything with them. I can't bear away and take the speed. I just have to go with it and sort of roll over the top. So as we come to this bottom buoy, I'm going to start thinking about that. Bear away. Quick realignment of the camera, which I think took a whack during my first tack. You can see the first boats there. I've only just gone around, so actually I feel like I've done pretty well to catch up. Bear in mind how long I spent upside down to start with. Hooking on, getting out, not the worst rounding. I do find with the waves, it does take me a little bit once I've got round to find a decent space to get a hold of the kicker and the Cunningham. Just a matter of timing it. So it's not like, if we're on flat water, pretty much as soon as I've got round, I'll be able to bend my knees and get a grip of those. I have to sort of wait until there's a bit of flatter water, where I can go in and make those adjustments. I had a good bit of height here, but unfortunately this Phantom had managed to lose his tiller extension, so I just had to bear away and go around the back of him, losing all that height I've just generated. But I'm actually pretty happy with how I then go from here on in. So you can see there's a Phantom right ahead of my bow, and I pretty much keep station with him in terms of where I'm pointing, but obviously going quite a bit quicker, which you'd really expect. Bear in mind how much more sail area I've got and the design of the boat. Previously, when I'd been out previously, I'd really struggled for height, so I'd done a bit of work tighten up my kicker because I didn't feel there was enough adjustment in it. But this time I've been able to really wind it on, and then also giving it quite a bit of Cunningham, and that seemed to work. Just taking a little bit more power out just helped me to really push up to windward and really rip. But yeah, that was just a quick video, just showing you me getting to grip my new boat. Any of you guys in the 600s who are going to Lyme Bay, it all goes well. These are the sort of conditions you might well get there. Really enjoyable, lovely stuff, and you really get to get the best out of these boats and the worst at times. There's not much more rewarding than going at wind in conditions like these over these sort of waves. Yeah, it's just fantastic. So thank you very much, guys, and I'm sure I'll be back very soon.